I would like to know how to effectively manage remote teams, so individuals working in different countries, different time zones, and how you can bring them together to create the most cohesive team.
I'm Richard Tavendale. I'm Director of Proposal Consulting here at Shirtleff, and today I've been asked to try to give you some advice and help on how to run remote or virtual bid teams. Obviously virtual bid teams are run across many countries and different time zones and have been a kind of reality for many companies, especially international companies, for quite a few years now. There are obviously some really difficult challenges in bringing together different people from different countries, perhaps with different cultures, at short notice on a bid, running a bid team effectively to tight timescales. But first of all, I'd just like to point out there are some really good advantages in running a virtual bid team. First one is that a virtual bid team, obviously I think you can potentially draw resources from a much wider range of resource pool than just your local office. So you may be able to get in some expertise and more resources than you could locally, and you'll build up a more effective bid team. Secondly, of course, virtual bid teams cut down the amount of travel your bid team has to do. That reduces costs, reduces the amount of time wasted in travel, and makes it all more efficient and easier for people. And I've also seen some really innovative use of a sort of follow the sun type of shift approach, where part of the bid team might be writing content in one continent, finishing work and passing it over to another team in another time zone or another continent, who will then review it overnight, pass it back. And that kind of way can be really effective and efficient way of developing content very quickly. However, the challenges facing you in managing virtual bid teams should not be underestimated. So now let's try and go through one or two techniques and tips we've got for you. First thing I think you really need to focus on very much is to look at defining the roles you have in your bid team very clearly and making it very definite what each person needs to do, writing that down. Follow that up, especially at the start of the bid, by really sort of formalising the tasks that you need to do. Make them short tasks at the start so that you can build trust and see progress. Second thing to look at is really look at your communication strategy. You obviously don't have face-to-face contact with many of the people, so you've got to kind of think about what you're going to do and when. I think that your strategy, whatever it is, you should focus on trying to over-communicate. It's much better to have a bit more communication than you would in a normal bid team environment. If you've got the chance to think about the people that are working in different countries and different cultures, is there any way you can adapt your approach so that it's more effective with those people? It's worth thinking about. Finally, I haven't said very much about technology. In the past, that was a real barrier to working in virtual bid teams, but nowadays there are a host of really good cloud-based packages that allow you to communicate effectively using webinars or teleconferences and things like that, video conferences. There's a whole load of collaboration platforms that allow you to exchange and communicate information. If you don't have that sort of technology and you really want to be effective at virtual bid teams, then you need to invest in it very quickly. So there you have it. There's just a few things to think about at the start. Write down the roles and tasks very clearly. Think about your communication strategy and make sure you've got the technology in place to communicate. If you want to find out more about this, then the Shirtleff proposal guide here has a very good section on this. It goes into all the things I've said in a bit more detail, but also gives you a few more things to think about. So good luck with your remote and virtual bid team management. I wish you well.